What is up? How is everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody is good this November 30th, last day of November, really getting close to 2022. This year went by like a tornado, so fast, so fast. Hopefully, everybody is doing fine. Hopefully, my audio is good. I was having issues with my audio. Hopefully, the audio works. If it does, great. Let me know. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What's up, Tixas? How you doing? How is everything? Well, today what we're going to do, I'm going to talk a little bit about Genoa against Milan, and just a little bit more topics. We're going to talk more about the tactical aspect and the things that I saw. Um, I saw Genoa play against the Udinese the other day, and what I saw was quite interesting. So I'm going to go by with what I saw against Udinese, and I'm going to give you my opinions on that. I haven't seen Genoa play all season. The first time I saw them play was against Udinese, and I did see a little bit of them before of that. I saw Shevchenko's first game actually. I saw both Shevchenko's games actually. Obviously, Shevchenko being the Genoa coach really is something interesting because Shevchenko, being an AC Milan legend, one of the greats of AC Milan, one of the I think top three all-time goal scorers, maybe even top two, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and Champions League winner. He scored the winning penalty in the 2003. He scored countless goals for AC Milan. Fortunately, he had that little a bump in the road when he moved to Chelsea. I remember following that saga quite closely. I think that was the first time that, as AC Milan fans, it was the first time we saw a big player getting sold in AC Milan. Maybe that was the beginning of the end for Berlusconi's AC Milan, because that was the first time we sold one of our jewels. And but that wasn't nowhere close to the end, because after that we won another Champions League, we won another Scudetto and a few more trophies. But maybe that was the beginning of the end of Berlusconi's power in football, when he was forced to sell to this other guy called Abramovich, who right now is doing wonders for his club. Literally one, maybe Berlusconi the master, Abramovich the apprentice, and now Abramovich the master. But yeah, so we're going to be playing against Shevchenko. There's been speculation of Shevchenko maybe playing for coaching AC Milan in the future. I think that could be something interesting. We saw him in the Euros for Ukraine, and he did really well. I think it was the first time in Ukraine's history that they achieved the quarterfinals, or in a major tournament. Now, or rather, in the Euros, it can't be the first time they achieved the quarterfinals, because Italy played Ukraine in the 2006 quarterfinals World Cup, where Italy won 3-0. That was Italy Ukraine. So it was the first time Ukraine got into the Euros of the quarterfinals, not into a major tournament. So I want to talk a little bit about Shevchenko and Genoa and what I saw and where Milan is at, and maybe where we think Milan could be or where they should be, and the situation that has been going on. In the meantime, guys, there's Salernitana Juventus on right now, and we get to even watch our next opponents after Genoa. A little bit of scouting. Salernitana are losing 1-0 against Juventus. Salernitana, of course, with the infinite Ribéry. I'm not sure if he's playing today. Maybe he is, but I'm not sure. So yeah, we got, on paper, fairly easy games coming up, but paper means nothing. The real stage is the football field. The green is the real stage, not the paper. So let's get into it. So first of all, first thing I want to address is, where is Milan, and what is going on with Milan, and why, looking at that game that we saw against Sassuolo, and what was my honest opinion in good faith of why and what's happened. So quick analysis of that game. So a few things come to mind. A few things of my sensations tell me. One is that I felt that Milan, in order to function, really needs the two double pivots to do their job. They are the timekeepers, and they organize everything. They attach the defense to the offense. And when they are missing in action, Milan crumbles. And my sensation was this, that Milan in the first 20 minutes, and this is something that everybody is sharing, played very good football. But my sensation was that Bakayoko is not really ready to take the reins in that midfield. And against Sassuolo, that was a very difficult game for him to start from the beginning and do what Kessie does, do what Tonali does, do these players that have been practicing this system for a long time now, and they even got, like, Tonali, Kessie, and Benacer practice this system even in the preseason. Bakayoko came a little bit later, and then he had that injury. So Bakayoko coming into the game has looked good, but starting from the beginning and assessing his tempo and assessing his timing was not that great. And I thought that was the real issue. And I'm not shitting on Bakayoko at all. I think that overall he's a really good player and he's very useful to AC Milan. But my sensation was that we had that sequence of play. So let's go over that sequence of play. Let's do that. Okay. So my sensation was that in that sequence of play, where you had Bakayoko and the midfield. So basically, what was it? They were playing in the back, trying to create possession from the back. At a certain point, the ball went to Magnard, to Florenzi, and then Florenzi passed it to Bakayoko, and then Bakayoko passed. Tried to look for a vertical pass over there, but it was intercepted by the Sassuolo player, and then the ball fell in the feet of Scamacca, and there was literally a channel here the size of Mount Everest, and it gave Scamacca an opportunity to shoot it right where the goalkeeper can get it. I felt that at that moment, the team felt like when let's say, for example, when you have two boxers, right, and they're going at each other in a professional fight, and then one boxer gets hit in the face really hard, and then he realizes, oh shit, like he got rattled. I feel like Milan got really rattled after that goal, and Sassuolo felt that energy and took advantage of Milan being an animal that is, let's say, injured in some way. And I feel that the players did not respond to the midfield not dominating the game. It felt like we lost the game the moment that sequence happened. And so I don't want to blame any players, but I feel like maybe Bakayoko is not ready to start that role and take a hold of the midfield the same way Kessie does. Because remember that in this system that the team is very accustomed to, the midfielders have a very important role. Right, they allow the center backs, usually, well, Teo Hernandez, they allow the center back to come forward, and then the fullbacks to come forward, and then that midfielder joins that line of defense. Now we've been seeing a lot of Milan playing with three, kind of playing like how they played the end of last season with the three in the back, one here, the diamond, and then everybody up on top. So basically, look at the two midfielders. The two midfielders are very important in this scheme, and if you don't have this scheme under your feet at a 100%, you can lose the plot. And I feel like that's what happened. Um, and whatnot, and whatever it is, what it is, we can move on to new the next game. But aside from that, I want to talk about more so Genoa. Am I concerned that AC Milan lost that game? No, not really, not that much. Once I feel like even in my days as a coach and as a professional competitor, and having projects and objectives, losing is just part of a deal. When you lose, you kind of take it, you get up, and you live to fight another day. It's really not a big deal. Losing should never be a big deal psychologically to the players. So you know will Milan will Milan stand up again and fight like the title says? I think so, because it is in the DNA of the club. The club is a winning club, and it is a club that has lost many times, and many more times has been able to get up and take it all the way till the end. So it is what it is. 2 games, we're still up there, fighting for the top 4. Maybe still contenders for the Scudetto. I still believe it. I still believe that we can win the Scudetto if everything goes our way. I think the direct matches against the top 4s are going to be very important. The game against Napoli, but very important is going to be these last 5 games for AC Milan, because we have 5 games that are on paper are fairly easy. We have Empoli, even though we know Empoli has been a pain in the ass this season, but we have Empoli, we have Udinese, we have Salernitana, we have Genoa, and then we have the big one, Napoli. So we have 5 games that could be very, 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 very important for our walk towards the Scudetto. How will it go? We will see. I believe in the players. I believe that the players have the right idea, and they believe in themselves, and they're going to pick themselves up. All right, which brings me to the game against Genoa and what I realized about Genoa. So first of all, Shevchenko is an AC Milan legend, but on Wednesday, I'm sorry, Sheva, I don't want to see you smile at the end of the game. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, what am I expecting from Genoa? Well, this is what I saw that Genoa does. This is how Genoa has been playing recently, which is quite interesting. Well, at least the last games that I saw. And I think the way Genoa plays is not too difficult to counter. It's not too difficult to counter. So I'll give you an idea of what I saw, how Genoa approaches its games. All right, so pretty much the way I saw Genoa play is they like to keep the ball in the back. They have these 3 players in the back, kind of like Milan does, and then they use the goalkeeper Sirigu almost as their playmaker. Sirigu is almost the playmaker of the team is Sirigu, and they use the space of the goalkeeper quite a lot. And they like to play in this area of the field a lot, in their own area, where they like to use the big empty spaces in the field to kind of slow things down and kind of have control over the game. But one thing that is very interesting about Genoa, let's say that differs from the typical team that plays possession football, is that once they surpass the ball here, they don't wait here. They attack you right away. They don't try to keep possession in this area. They're not interested in keeping possession in this area. And this is even when they play against smaller clubs. They will play possession in the back, and then they will attack you really fast here, which is a quite interesting it is a quite interesting tactic. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Ancelotti's tactic. Ancelotti was a possession-based coach, but he had that with of our AC Milan, he had that instinct of direct football as well. Hey, if you can attack the goal, just attack it. Don't waste time, kind of thing. And Genoa has this kind of approach here, but with players that are not, you know, world class players. They're not world class players. The players, they have an interest in midfield. They have Sturaro, who is very experienced. You know, he has a lot of Champions League experience. Sturaro. They have Ravella. I think his name is Ravella. He's a very interesting youngster coming up. He's a Juventus player, actually, and he is a very interesting midfielder, very good at organizing the midfield. Um, so, you know, they are going to give us an issue. And then we know that the stadium is usually a hot stadium. It's always difficult to play there. But this is the thing. This is the thing about Genoa, that there are two ways to really beat Genoa, and I think it's a fairly easy, to be honest with you. I honestly think it's a fairly easy solution. So first of all, we know that they like to use the goalkeeper. They like to play here. So just press the shit out of them in this area here. Don't allow them to play this game. Which will force them to play the long ball. And if they play the long ball, you know, it's going to become a 50-50 battle. But for the most part, when we are going to win those 50-50s, we're going to keep possession a lot, because it is a team that will press you. But if you're more technical than them, you can beat them and just keep them at bay, kind of thing. So if you pressure them up here, you can really hurt them. But once they surpass your pressure, or let's say they surpass the midfield and they attack you straight away, they're coming at you at full force. If you can intercept those attacks and then counterattack them, you're going to go to goal quite easily. You're going to have a lot of space. You're going to have Theo, you're going to have Leao, you're going to have Diaz, you're going to have Kalulu, you're going to have a lot of players that can run in empty spaces, almost as if like in boxing, when you're countering a punch. When a boxer comes at you, punches you, right? You counter that punch and then punch him back. These are two ways that you can easily beat Genoa. Those are two weaknesses I saw in Genoa, and I really do think that Pioli is looking at that, and I'm sure we're going to be looking at that. Now, the start information for AC Milan, as far as what they have been projecting, is this. All right. So we have our usual 4-2-3-1. Tomori is back. You have Kessi Benacer in the midfield. You have Kalulu on the right, Teo on the left, Salamakers here, Diaz right there, and Lea right there. So it's pretty much our original setup. It's pretty much, let's say, our best setup minus Calabria. On paper, right? On paper, this is pretty much our best setup. Maybe you can substitute Rebic with Leao. But as far as who the starters have been on this squad, this is a very strong formation. It is a formation that should get the job done if they approach this game the proper way, with a fighting mentality, with the right spirit, with the knowledge and with the consciousness that, you know, losing this game or losing points could be big consequences. Right now, Milan mustn't think about that. What Milan must do right now is go on the field and just let go of everything that has happened these past days. Just forget it all. Forget all the wins, just all the losses. Just shake it off of your body and get in that pitch and fight like your life depends on it, like you know how to do. You know, that Atletico Madrid game made Milan maybe too overblown. Maybe they got way too overconfident, and then therefore approached Sassuolo with more freedom. As you can see, you know, obviously Pioli, Pioli kind of chose two players that have not started almost at all in that game, Florenzi and Bakayoko. So obviously there is maybe overconfidence in Pioli. But this is the thing, you know, if you, and this is another subject I want to talk about, like, if you are a big team and you want to mitigate between Champions League and Scudetto, you have to know how to do that. You have to know how to manage the big wins in Europe and then come back to the Serie A, scale it down, and be humble again and play the dog, the dog fights of the Serie A, which does not have the glory of Europe. So you mustn't commit the sin of vanity. You mustn't commit the sin of overconfidence. You have to be industrial. You have to be humble. You have to be a worker. And you can only win by doing that. Knowing your strengths, knowing what your capability is, believing in yourself, but you have to be humble. And being humble sometimes also means understanding our limits. Now, what are our limits? I don't know, honestly. Against Genoa, do we have limits against Genoa? In theory, not really. In theory, we have a team that is good enough to beat Genoa. So yeah. So there you go. Um, uh, what am I expecting out of this game? Do I have a prediction? I don't know. I think. I think maybe fuck. I don't know. I'm not even going to say what I think the scoreline should be, but I just know that Milan has what it takes to win, and if Milan just goes into this game with the free spirit, with its head free, don't think about Salernitana, don't think about Liverpool, don't think about the Champions League, just think about Genoa, think about your game plan. You're going to win this game. You're going to win this game. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. By the way, tomorrow we are going to be doing a watch along. So join us for the watch along tomorrow. It's going to be quite a fun game as always. It's going to be fun playing against Shevchenko. It's going to be fun playing against Shevchenko. And then, guys, I'm also watching Salernitana. I'm kind of scouting Salernitana out a little bit. And I think that Salernitana is another team that Milan can beat if they go in the game humble. You got to be humble. You got to be positive. You got to be humble. You got to help your teammates. You got to be the energy that you give out to your teammates has to be the energy of a fighter that is ready to sacrifice everything for your teammate. And you have to have you really have to believe in yourself and in your teammates. So as long as Milan go in that there with that mentality, they can win, and they will win. But never discount your opponents. All right, guys, so let me know what you guys think. I think he is ambitious and Genoa is just a stepping stone to bigger things. I think you're talking about Shevchenko there. Yeah, when I did see Shevchenko and his style of play, not only in the national team but also with Genoa, I think he does have the kind of football that we like. He does have that DNA of technical possession football. He likes to play football. Milan is a team that we want coaches that play football, right? That they put the players on the field in order to dominate the game. There's these other coaches around the world that just, kind of like Simeone, kind of like Allegri, Inzaghi, these kind of coaches that are happy to not play football. Shevchenko is not that kind of coach. So let's see how he does. Let's see how he does in the next year. Maybe he's going to get sacked again. I think this Genoa team is going to be very difficult to get points because it is a team that, aside from Destro, oh no, sorry, is Destro with Genoa? Yeah, I think he is. I think Destro's with Genoa. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a team that doesn't have many goals. As a matter of fact, I'm quite curious to see what their goal ratio is. Let's check it out. Yeah, I wonder how long Shevchenko will last at Genoa. It's difficult. It's a difficult job. It's a difficult job if you want to impress. It's a very difficult job if you want to impress, and it could maybe even backfire. Again, because it's not easy. It's not easy getting in a team that is struggling to win, and not only a team that is struggling to win, but you're a quarter season in. You don't have much time to fix anything. All right, so Genoa is in the relegation zone at 10 points, 1 win, 7 ties, 6 losses. They have scored 17 goals and conceded 26. So they conceded a lot of goals. They don't score many. In their own stadium, they have tied. They haven't won a game in their own stadium. They have tied 3 and they have lost 3. Hopefully, this is not the game they win in their stadium. Outside away, they have won 1, tied 4, lost 3. So it's a team. It's a very difficult team to impress. It's good experience for Shevchenko, but it's a very difficult team to impress with. It's a very difficult team to impress with. Roy, I think Pioli would play Salamakers on the left side. Oh well, if he does, good. We saw Salamakers on the left. He can also play on the left, no problem. Salamakers is a player that for the kind of role that he does, he can play him on the right, on the center, on the left. It doesn't really matter. Messias on the right. That'll be interesting, actually. It'd be interesting to see how that team starts from the beginning. Basically, what our friend Majideen is saying. He is saying that it will be like this: Salah over here, Messias over there. I mean, it conceptually, it's the same thing as the other way around. Tactically, it's the same thing. It's going to be what is interesting is this duo here. I think this duo here can work pretty well because Salamakers is more a feeder. He feeds the ball and he is there to make you do the play. So he's not going to be competing with Teo Hernandez. He's going to allow Teo Hernandez to take a hold of that left wing. And Messias, it looks like he's good. Messias looks like he's up for the battle. I like what I saw against Sassuolo. Obviously, big game of the Champions League, very special player, one of those anomalous kind of players, professional at 27, Serie C, Serie B, Serie A, Champions League. If he starts from the beginning, I don't think so. I don't think so. But if he does, good. I think he can do well. So Giroud is out, obviously, as we know. Rebic is out. Pellegrini and Ibrahimovic and maybe Leao are really only 3 options up top. Ibrahimovic, this should be a good game for Ibrahimovic because I think you can possess the ball quite easily against Genoa. And having an Ibrahimovic, hopefully an inspired Ibrahimovic that can come down here in this area and be a playmaker and help and organize the offense will allow Milan to dominate psychologically Genoa, but also technically and tactically. Obviously, this is only if Ibra is has a good game. Obviously, Ibra could have a complete stinker of a game. Who knows? Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Now, the reason why I don't think Messias is going to be ready, I think that if there's something that Pioli has learned against Sassuolo, is taking risks with starters. Pioli already knows who the players are that are capable of starting a game from the beginning. So right now in this part of the season, this is just what I think. Pioli will not take any risks anymore as who should start and who's not going to start. I think starting with Bakayoko and Florenzi definitely hurt the team. So I don't know if he's going to experiment with new starters now. I don't know, but if he does, hopefully it works out. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Messias needs to start. Sheva will give us the 3 points. I don't envy Pioli right now. He has much to consider with selections, future matches, and injuries. He must feel under pressure. If he makes a mistake, it's going to cost us. Yeah, if I was in his position right now, I wouldn't take risks anymore. I know I have a tour de force, 6 games coming up, all 6 games that I have to win. At this point, I'm going to go with what I know. and I'm not going to take any risks. And if a player gets injured, I'm just going to replace him with the next player. But as long as players are good to go, I'm going to start with the players that I know have showed me that they can start games from the beginning. I think this is what he's going to do. Depth is needed. Our bench isn't good enough. I think Messias will start. As I said, I think it will be very interesting to see him from the beginning. Yeah, I don't see why he would fail from the beginning. I don't see why he would. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I don't think he will, but we'll see. We will see. All right, so guys. So I think that is it for now. Guys, remember to join me tomorrow for the watch along, and then we are going to have a post match. It's going to be a very interesting game. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. Much appreciated. Much love. We'll see you next time. Forza Milan. Forza Milan. Arrivederci. Alla prossima.